Hey, VC here. Today we're talking about 5 ways you can maintain your fitness over off season. Like what are we doing during off season to not completely lose our gains? It's officially off season and we've trained and we've worked hard and we've got our FTP up and our fitness is great, and now it's getting cold and our volume isn't there. And it's a bummer because sometimes we'll build this peak and then we'll drop into this valley over off season and essentially have to do it all over again. And so each year we're just sort of up and down, up and down, up and down, and maybe we can pull a little trend upwards. But what I find is the more that you can utilize your off season to maintain some fitness actually gives you a huge jump start in the year coming. But we got to make sure our mind is fresh so we're not just burnt out. So here are my top 5 things to do during off season to maintain your fitness. Number 1, mountain biking. If you're a pure roadie, you're probably just, it's like, psych, dude, I'm not gonna mountain bike. I'm not trying to Red Bull rampage myself down a mountain. It is so amazing and it has so many benefits for you in bike handling skills and just learning new roads and how to ride and to maintain your fitness. I mean, it's really cool. I've been doing a lot more mountain biking this year than I have any other previous year. Now, obviously, you need a mountain bike to do this, but you could get a used mountain bike for not that bad off like eBay. I personally would suggest going with a full squish, full suspension. Obviously, depending on where you ride, maybe if you don't have any hills whatsoever, you don't really need a full suspension, but it makes it way more enjoyable. But look, when you mountain bike and you're going up these hills, one, you're not really digging into intervals or training, but you're having to actually spike your heart rate a few times to just get up some of these technical sections. And it sounds weird, but it's sort of, you're using a little bit of different muscles, just the way you're seated on the bike and how you're applying power. Sort of is like not using the same muscles that you use for a road. So for me, I find that when I ride my mountain bike, I'm still able to stress my anaerobic and cardiovascular motor, but my muscular motor, sort of the fatigue is dropping in the way of road. And I've got maybe different muscle, I'm recruiting different muscles, so it's really neat. And when you go out for a mountain bike ride, I mean, if you go up the hill, that's a bit of a workout, but then you're treated for some amazing downhill. And this is where you're gonna pick up a lot of skills on foot position and, you know, your footwork and that sort of thing, but just handling and knowing when your wheels are starting to lose traction. 100%, since I've been mountain biking, I've really felt way more confident in turns, in crits. It's awesome. But also, this helps fresh your mind. These are roads you probably haven't seen before, sights you haven't seen before, and it just gives you something new to do, man. But be careful because obviously mountain biking, you get injured and you don't want to be injured going in and ruin your whole season. So you don't have to again, do a double backflip or anything, but mountain biking is probably my number 1 tip. Number 2 is Zwift. And now I say Zwift because indoor training sucks, okay? I'd rather be kicked straight in the dick by a camel than spend 20 minutes on a stationary trainer staring at a wall. But Zwift, whew, dude, if you've never done it, I know it's hard. I know you're like, dude, it's psych. I'm not going to be on a trainer. Trainers suck. But Zwift gives you this feedback of you putting power into the pedals and then you seeing your little guy move. Is phenomenal. There's so many things about Zwift that are awesome that will help maintain your fitness over off season. But just volume, right? When it's late, it's dark, the baby goes to bed, Usually you wouldn't be able to get out and go ride. But with Zwift, you can do it anytime. And even if you're just putting in like an hour, right? That's at least something. But my biggest favorite things about Zwift is the structured intervals, the training, and the racing. You can actually upload like your stuff from Training Peaks, or they have workouts that just help you mentally get on board with doing a 2-hour workout. And not that you're maybe doing workouts in off season, but the racing for me, dude, is so much fun. Once a week, once every 2 weeks, I'll jump on and I'll do a Zwift race, and it feels like a race. Drafting, when to attack, position, all these things come into account. So it's pretty sweet. For Zwift, obviously you need a monthly fee for Zwift, and you need a pretty sweet setup. My setup is like the greatest setup ever. And I'm on the Cyclops Hammer direct drive trainer. So like that is expensive, obviously, to set all that up, but I would say it's super worth it. I have put in almost 100 hours on indoor training this year. And that just goes, okay, off season, but even just, man, the work's busy, everything's getting in my head, and it's late or it's early or whatever, I can't find time to ride, I'm able to get on the trainer and at least just maintain some of that volume. Number 3 is not having to spend a ton of money, okay, right? 1 and 2, you got to buy things. Number 3, just go explore. Find new roads, yeah? You might be kind of burnt out and you might be sort of over structured training or going hard, but if you go do new roads, and this may be getting in the car and driving to a new city or whatever, but finding new roads that you've never ridden on before sort of refreshes your mind. And you might end up hitting a climb and you're not even realizing that you're doing zone 3, right? Because you're just like into the moment. And you're like, yeah, this is a cool new road I've never been on. Taking your road bike off on some gravel, because I promise you it's fine. It will be okay. That's also really cool. But just new roads, man, new adventures. Put the power meter away and just get in some volume that you can sort of put into the bank for the upcoming year. Number 4 is core work. You don't have a mountain bike, you don't have a trainer, and it's 18 feet of snow outside. There's no way you're gonna ride outside. So what can you do indoors? And I'm gonna say core work, like yoga. I know that's hippie. You don't need to wear any tight yoga pants, but honestly, working on your core is gonna make you feel like a better human, right? A lot of times I don't feel very optimized as a human. I'm optimized as a cyclist. My legs are strong and buff, but it's like a gust of wind comes and I'm just gonna crack in half because my upper body is non-existent. So, I mean, I try to hold yoga throughout the year, but definitely in the winter months, stay inside by the fire, hit a little yoga routine. Dude, you could find a ton of stuff on YouTube, yoga just for cyclists. There's a lot of resources out there, but for me, I've seen great benefits from strengthening my core. Do some planks, some sit-ups, do some lunges, do some warrior poses. Do some yoga. It will help. So the 5th thing is, if you can't do any of that other stuff to generate power or maintain fitness, there is another aspect, which is weight, right? Not increasing your weight. So a lot of times, most of us during off season, our power will go down, our weight will go up. That's not great. So if we can maintain our power and maintain our weight, that's good. But if either maybe we use off season to lower our weight. That's difficult to do, but so intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, I've been doing it for a year, hardcore, like every day, pretty much. Intermittent, I do 14 to 16 hours intermittent fasted, okay? A lot of my rides are fasted. Even some of my workouts are fasted. And so if you're trying to maintain weight or lose weight, ideally more you're just going to maintain. You're not going to sit in the kitchen while it's cold outside and stuff your face with pizza, okay? Intermittent fasting, if you can section off and say, okay, I've only got 8 hours or 6 hours in the day to consume calories. The idea is to not restrict calories, but it gets very difficult to put in 2,000, 3,000 calories when you only are having one meal a day. If you don't know anything about intermittent fasting, there's a ton of science that is showing that it is great for longevity. Dr. Rhonda Patrick talks a lot about it. but it is great for performance as well. Shifting your body's ability to be carb dependent to also be able to utilize energy off fat stores is amazing. And for me, it has completely changed how I live my life. I wake up, I have coffee, and then I won't eat until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Sometimes I won't even eat until dinner. And I will go and I will train. The beginning is hard, okay, totally. It's gonna be a little difficult to train yourself to not eat bacon and eggs and toast and butter right the first thing in the morning. For me, it took about 2 or 3 months to really start to feel it out and feel good, but your energy is across the board. You don't have any dips in energy. And again, maintaining your weight, it helps so much. For me, I could just shovel food into my face at night because I'm at such a caloric deficit because I've not had any calories all day, but I gotta bring in those calories that I get to just completely pig out on healthy food, of course. But I'm not overeating. I'm not getting a lot of extra calories. And dude, as cyclists, when we're training, 10, 15 hours a week during the summer, but then winter comes and we've dropped it down to 6, 2, 0, right? We're still maintaining how much we're eating, but now our workload is so much less. That's just gonna make us fat. So intermittent fasting is, I would say, even if you're not trying to maintain weight, you're just trying to live better, I think that's awesome. But it is a great thing you could do to help maintain your weight, even if it's 2 times a week, right? 1 time a week. So there you go. Here's 5 ways that you can maintain your fitness during off season. And these are all things I do, right? Choose one, choose all 5. Let me know what you do for off season. If you've got some other tips. And I know I've said this 1,000 times. I will get more into intermittent fasting and my whole routine. I'm just a little worried about putting it out there and having people yell at me about it. I just don't like getting yelled at. And it works great for me, but I don't know if it's going to work great for anyone else. Science seems to say it's pretty awesome. We'll talk more about it. As always, Vegan Cyclist. Yeah.